I let my cheating husband believe I had no idea what he was doing for 6 months while I quietly divorced him and took everything he valued. I'm 34F and my husband is 37M. His name is Marcus and we've been married for 9 years, together for 12 total. We have 2 kids, a son who's 7 and a daughter who's 5. Marcus is a corporate attorney and I'm a physical therapist. We've always lived comfortably, nice house in the suburbs, good schools for the kids, vacations every year. 6 months ago I found out Marcus was cheating on me. I wasn't looking for it. I had no reason to suspect anything. He wasn't acting differently. He wasn't coming home late more than usual. There were no suspicious texts or calls that I noticed. What happened was I got a message on Instagram from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Bethany and she sent me a long message saying she'd been seeing my husband for 4 months. She said she felt guilty and thought I deserved to know. She sent me screenshots of their text conversations, photos of them together, hotel receipts, everything. I sat in my car outside the grocery store reading through everything she sent and I felt like I couldn't breathe. The messages were explicit, romantic. They talked about being in love. Marcus told her he was unhappy in his marriage, that we stayed together for the kids, that he was planning to leave me eventually. There were photos of them at restaurants I recognized, hotels in the city. One photo was taken in what looked like an apartment. Bethany was wearing one of Marcus's dress shirts, the same one I'd ironed for him 2 weeks earlier. I didn't respond to Bethany. I just sat there reading everything over and over. My hands were shaking. I wanted to throw up. When I got home Marcus was playing with the kids in the backyard. He looked so normal, so happy, like he wasn't destroying our entire family behind my back. I put the groceries away and made dinner and didn't say a word. That night after the kids went to bed Marcus kissed me goodnight and told me he loved me. I said it back automatically. I felt numb. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there next to him thinking about what to do. My first instinct was to confront him immediately, to scream and throw him out, but something stopped me. Marcus is a lawyer, a good one. He handles divorces sometimes as part of his family law practice. He knows every trick, every loophole, every way to hide assets and drag things out. If I confronted him he'd have time to prepare, to move money around, to build his case. So I decided to wait. I decided to let him think I had no idea while I quietly got everything in order. The next morning I called my friend Rachel. She's also a lawyer, corporate not family law, but she gave me a referral to someone she trusted, a woman named Diana Chen who specializes in high-asset divorces. I met with Diana 3 days later. I told her everything, showed her the screenshots from Bethany, explained that Marcus was a family law attorney and would fight dirty if he knew I was coming. Diana said the fact that I found out before Marcus knew I knew gave me a huge advantage. She said we could file for divorce and have him served without any warning, that we could get temporary orders in place for the house and the kids before he had time to react. She also said in our state adultery doesn't technically affect asset division but it can affect custody if we can prove it impacted the kids. The fact that Marcus was spending time and money on an affair instead of with his family could work in my favor. Diana advised me to start documenting everything. She said I should gather all our financial records, bank statements, credit card bills, tax returns, information about Marcus's salary and bonuses, his retirement accounts, everything. She also said I should keep a calendar of Marcus's time with the kids, when he was home, when he wasn't, any times he missed activities or events. She said if he was spending less time with them because of the affair we needed to document it. I spent the next 2 months quietly gathering everything. I told Marcus I was organizing our files for tax season. He didn't question it. I made copies of everything and gave it all to Diana. I also started keeping detailed notes. Every time Marcus said he had to work late I wrote it down. Every time he missed bedtime or a soccer game or a school event I documented it. I checked our credit card statements and highlighted every charge I didn't recognize. There were dozens of them. Restaurants, hotels, flowers, jewelry I'd never received. I also started moving money, not large amounts, just a little at a time from our joint account into a personal account Marcus didn't have access to. Diana said as long as I wasn't hiding marital assets it was fine. I was just making sure I had access to money for myself and the kids. During all of this I had to pretend everything was normal. I had to have dinner with Marcus every night, sleep next to him, smile and make conversation. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. There were moments I almost broke, times I wanted to scream at him, to tell him I knew everything, but I kept thinking about the end goal, about protecting myself and the kids, about making sure Marcus didn't get the chance to screw me over. Marcus had no idea. He kept seeing Bethany. I know because I created a fake Instagram account and followed her. She posted stories sometimes with vague references to seeing someone, photos of flowers and dinner dates. Once she posted a photo of a man's hand holding hers and I recognized Marcus's watch. It made me physically ill but I screenshotted everything. Diana said the more evidence we had the better. I also hired a private investigator. Diana recommended someone discreet. His name was Tom and he followed Marcus for 3 weeks. He got photos of Marcus meeting Bethany at hotels, at her apartment, at restaurants. He documented everything. The investigation cost $8,000 and I paid for it out of the separate account I'd been building. Marcus never noticed the money was gone. During this time I also started working more hours. I picked up extra shifts at the physical therapy clinic. I told Marcus I was saving for a family vacation. He thought it was a great idea. He had no clue I was preparing to leave him. I also met with a therapist, not couples therapy, just for me. I needed someone to talk to who wasn't involved, someone who could help me process what I was doing. She helped me stay focused, reminded me why I was waiting instead of confronting him immediately. 4 months after I found out about the affair, Diana said we had everything we needed, all the financial documents, all the evidence of adultery, Tom's investigation report, my calendar of Marcus's absences, everything. She drafted the divorce papers. I was filing on grounds of adultery, asking for primary custody of the kids with Marcus getting visitation, asking for the house, my car, 60% of our savings and retirement accounts, and child support. Diana also filed for temporary orders that would go into effect as soon as Marcus was served. The orders would require him to move out of the house, maintain the mortgage and utility payments, and stay away from me except for scheduled kid exchanges. We scheduled the service for a Thursday afternoon. Marcus would be served at his office. I wanted him to be blindsided at work the same way I was blindsided in a grocery store parking lot. The week before the service I started preparing the kids. I didn't tell them about the divorce yet, but I started talking to them about how sometimes families change, how mommy and daddy might not always live together. I wanted to plant the seeds gently. I also packed a bag for Marcus. I went through his closet and dresser and packed enough clothes and toiletries for a few weeks. I put the bag in the garage so it would be ready when he came home after being served. The Wednesday before the Thursday service I had a moment of doubt. I wondered if I was doing the right thing, if I should give Marcus a chance to explain, to apologize, to fix things. But then I remembered the messages, the photos, the lies, the fact that he told Bethany he was planning to leave me, that he said I was just someone he stayed with for the kids, and my resolve hardened. Thursday came and I sent the kids to my parents' house after school. I told them Grandma and Grandpa wanted to have a special sleepover. They were excited. I waited at home. Diana texted me at 2:47 p.m. to say the process server had delivered the papers. Marcus had been served. My phone started ringing at 2:51 p.m. It was Marcus. I didn't answer. He called 6 more times in the next hour. I ignored all of them. He came home at 4:15 p.m. I heard his car in the driveway. I was sitting in the living room. My heart was pounding. Marcus came in through the garage. He was holding the divorce papers. His face was red. He looked furious. He started yelling immediately, asking what the hell I was doing, saying this was insane, that we needed to talk. I just sat there and let him yell. When he finally stopped, I said very calmly that I knew about Bethany, that I'd known for 4 months, that I had screenshots of their messages, photos from the private investigator, credit card statements, everything. His face went white. He tried to deny it at first, then he switched to saying it wasn't serious, that it was a mistake, that Bethany meant nothing. I told him I didn't care, that I was done, that he needed to pack his things and leave, that per the temporary orders he wasn't allowed to stay in the house. He said I couldn't do this, that he was a lawyer and he'd fight me on everything, that I'd never get what I was asking for. I told him I had 4 months of evidence, that Diana had already filed everything with the court, that the temporary orders were in effect and if he didn't leave I'd call the police. He stared at me like he'd never seen me before. I think he was shocked that I'd planned all of this, that I'd kept it secret for so long. He tried a different approach. He started crying, saying he loved me, that he'd made a terrible mistake, that we could fix this, we could go to counseling. I said no. I told him his bag was in the garage and he needed to leave. He asked about the kids, where they were. I said they were safe and he could see them this weekend under the visitation schedule Diana had proposed. Marcus grabbed his bag from the garage and left. He slammed the door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall. I sat there in the quiet house and cried for an hour, not because I wanted him back, but because my marriage was over, because I'd spent 4 months lying to the man I'd been with for 12 years, because everything I thought my life was going to be was gone. That was 6 months ago from when I first found out, 2 months ago from when he was served. Update 8 weeks later. The divorce is moving forward. We're in the middle of the legal process and it's been exhausting. Marcus hired his own attorney obviously, a guy named Richard who has a reputation for being aggressive. They're fighting me on almost everything. Marcus is contesting the custody arrangement. He wants 50-50 instead of the primary custody I'm asking for. His lawyer is arguing that there's no evidence the affair affected his parenting, that he's always been a good father. Diana pushed back hard. We submitted my calendar showing all the times Marcus missed because of work or the affair. We showed the credit card statements proving he was spending money on Bethany instead of the family. We included statements from the kids' teachers about missed conferences and events. The judge ordered a custody evaluation. A court-appointed psychologist is going to interview both of us and the kids and make a recommendation. It's scheduled for next month. I'm terrified. Marcus has been seeing the kids every other weekend. The exchanges are horrible. We meet in a public parking lot and barely speak. The kids ask why Daddy doesn't live with us anymore and I don't know what to tell them. I've said Daddy and Mommy need some time apart, but they're not stupid. They know something is very wrong. My daughter asked me last week if it was her fault and I wanted to die. I told her no, that this had nothing to do with her or her brother, that Mommy and Daddy both love them so much, but I could see she didn't fully believe me. Financially things are tight. The temporary orders require Marcus to pay the mortgage and utilities plus temporary child support, but it's not as much as I'm used to having. I'm still working extra shifts. I had to cut back on some of the kids' activities. Marcus is living in a condo downtown. It's nice from what the kids tell me. He has a guest room set up for them with bunk beds. They seem to like it there, which makes me irrationally angry. I don't want them to be comfortable at his place. I want them to miss home. I know that's selfish. Bethany is apparently still in the picture. My son mentioned that Daddy's friend Bethany came over to the condo once. I nearly lost it. I texted Marcus immediately and told him the kids were not to be around her, that if he wanted to see his girlfriend he needed to do it on his own time. He responded that he could see whoever he wanted when he had the kids, that I didn't get to control his life anymore. I forwarded the text to Diana and she said we could use it to show poor judgment. The custody evaluator interviews are in 3 weeks. Diana prepped me for what to expect. The psychologist is going to ask about my relationship with the kids, my parenting style, why I think I should have primary custody. She said to be honest but strategic, to focus on the facts. I'm also supposed to bring the kids in for an interview. They're going to ask them questions about both parents, where they want to live. I hate that they're being put in this position. Work has been weird. Some people know about the divorce. Small town, so word gets around. I've had colleagues ask if I'm okay and I just say I'm fine and change the subject. I don't want to talk about it with people I'm not close to. My parents have been helpful. They've been watching the kids more so I can work. My mom keeps asking if I'm eating enough and sleeping enough. I'm not really doing either, but I tell her I'm fine. I haven't spoken to Bethany since that first message 6 months ago. Part of me wants to confront her, to ask her what she was thinking getting involved with a married man with kids, but Diana said not to engage, that it wouldn't help anything. I did look at her Instagram recently. She's made it private now, but before she did I saw she'd posted a photo of her and Marcus together. They were at some restaurant smiling. The caption was something about choosing happiness. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. Marcus's parents called me last month. His mother was crying. She said she couldn't believe what Marcus had done, that she was so sorry, that she still wanted to see the kids. I said that was fine, but I didn't want to talk about the divorce with them. She agreed. His dad got on the phone and said Marcus was an idiot, that he'd thrown away a good thing. It was nice to hear but also awkward. I don't want a relationship with my ex-husband's parents, but they're the kids' grandparents, so I have to maintain some connection. The house feels empty when the kids are gone on Marcus's weekends. I don't know what to do with myself. I've been reorganizing closets, deep cleaning everything, anything to keep busy. I went on a date 3 weeks ago. A guy I met at the gym asked me to coffee. It was terrible. I spent the whole time comparing him to Marcus, thinking about how I used to be married and now I'm single at 34 with 2 kids. I cried in my car after. My therapist says I'm still processing the betrayal and that's normal, that I shouldn't rush into anything new, that I need to focus on healing and the kids. I know she's right, but I feel so lonely. Diana says the divorce should be final in about 4 more months if we can settle. If we go to trial it could take over a year. I want it done as soon as possible, but Marcus seems determined to drag it out. We have mediation scheduled for next month. We're going to try to negotiate the asset division and custody. Diana is preparing me for it, but I'm dreading sitting in a room with Marcus for hours. He's still texting me occasionally, not about the kids, just random things, asking how I'm doing, saying he misses me. I don't respond. Diana said any communication should be about the kids only and preferably through email so we have documentation. Last week he texted saying he wanted to talk, just the 2 of us, no lawyers, to see if we could work things out. I told him the only thing we had to work out was the divorce terms and that needed to happen through our attorneys. I think part of him really believed I'd take him back, that once the shock wore off I'd forgive him and we'd go to counseling and fix everything. He doesn't seem to understand that I'm done, that there's no coming back from what he did. The hardest part is the kids, watching them struggle with the changes. My son has been acting out at school. He got in trouble twice last month for hitting other kids. The school counselor called and said he's probably processing the separation. They recommended family therapy. We start family therapy next week, just me and the kids. Marcus has his own therapy apparently. Bethany told him he needed it according to something my daughter said. I hate that she has any influence over my kids' lives. I'm angry all the time, at Marcus for cheating, at Bethany for pursuing a married man, at myself for not seeing it sooner, at the whole situation for blowing up my life. But I also know I made the right choice, waiting those 4 months, gathering evidence, filing first. I'm in a much better position than I would have been if I'd confronted Marcus immediately. Diana says we have a strong case for primary custody, that the evidence of Marcus prioritizing the affair over family time is compelling, that his decision to introduce the kids to Bethany so soon shows poor judgment. I hope she's right. I need to win this, not just for me but for my kids. They need stability. They need to be with me most of the time. The mediation is in 3 weeks, then the custody evaluation, then we'll see where we stand. Final update 5 months later. The divorce is final. It's been official for 2 weeks. I'm no longer married to Marcus, and it still doesn't feel real. We settled 3 months ago. After the custody evaluation came back in my favor, the judge recommended Marcus accept my terms. The evaluator's report was scathing. It detailed all the time Marcus had missed with the kids, the questionable decision to introduce them to Bethany so quickly, the fact that he'd prioritized his affair over his family. The judge made it clear that if we went to trial, Marcus would likely get even less than what I was offering in the settlement. His lawyer advised him to take it. I got primary physical custody. Marcus has the kids every other weekend and 1 evening a week for dinner. We split holidays. I got the house, my car, and 60% of our savings and retirement accounts. Marcus has to pay child support and half of all kid-related expenses. He also had to pay my legal fees, which totaled almost $35,000. Diana was worth every penny. Marcus moved his stuff out of the house 2 months ago. It was awful. He came with his brother and they loaded everything into a truck. The kids watched from the window crying. My son asked why Daddy was taking all his things and I had to explain that Daddy was going to live somewhere else now. The house feels different without Marcus's stuff, lighter in some ways, emptier in others. I've been slowly redecorating, making it feel like mine and the kids' space instead of ours. The kids are adjusting, slowly. My son is still having some behavioral issues at school, but they're getting better. Family therapy has helped. The therapist is teaching them healthy ways to process their feelings about the divorce. My daughter is doing okay. She's more withdrawn than she used to be, quieter. She asks about Marcus a lot, wants to know when she'll see him next. I think she's afraid he's going to disappear. Marcus and I barely communicate. Everything goes through a co-parenting app now. We message about schedules and doctor appointments and school events. It's cold and transactional, but it's better than fighting. He's still with Bethany. They moved in together last month according to something the kids mentioned. It bothers me more than I thought it would. Not because I want him back, but because it feels like he got to just move on and start over while I'm stuck dealing with the aftermath. My son told me Bethany tried to make them call her a special nickname, something like Aunt Beth. I shut that down immediately. I told Marcus through the app that the kids were not to call her anything that implied family, that she was his girlfriend and nothing more. He didn't argue. Work has been better. I got promoted 2 months ago. My boss said I'd been showing excellent leadership and they wanted to recognize it. The raise helped a lot. Money isn't as tight as it was. I've been on a few more dates, nothing serious, mostly just coffee or drinks with guys from apps. It feels strange. I was with Marcus for 12 years. I don't really know how to date as a divorced mom in my mid-30s. One guy I went out with seemed promising. His name was Eric. We went on 3 dates, but when I mentioned I had kids he got weird about it, said he wasn't looking for anything that complicated. I haven't heard from him since. My therapist says I need to be patient, that the right person will be okay with my situation, that I shouldn't settle just because I'm lonely. I'm trying to believe her. My parents are still helping with the kids. They pick them up from school on my work days. My mom has started teaching my daughter to bake. It's become their special thing. My dad takes my son to the park every Saturday morning. Those relationships have gotten stronger through all of this. Marcus's parents still see the kids regularly. His mom picks them up once a month for a grandparent day. It's awkward when I see her, but we're civil. We don't talk about Marcus or the divorce, just the kids. I ran into Bethany once at the grocery store. We made eye contact and she looked like she wanted to say something, but I just walked past her. I have nothing to say to her. Financially, I'm stable. The child support helps. The house is paid for by Marcus per the settlement until the kids are 18. I'm saving money again, building up my account. I even started a college fund for the kids. I'm not happy exactly, not yet, but I'm not miserable either. I'm somewhere in between. I'm building a new life, a different life than I thought I'd have. Some days I'm angry. I think about how Marcus threw away 12 years, how he destroyed our family for an affair that probably won't even last, how he gets to move on while the kids and I deal with the consequences. Other days I feel relieved that I don't have to pretend anymore, that I don't have to lie next to someone who was lying to me, that I stood up for myself and fought back. The kids asked me last week if I was happy. I told them I was working on it, that sometimes life changes in ways we don't expect, but we have to keep going. My daughter said she wanted me to smile more. That broke my heart. I'm trying. I'm taking it one day at a time, focusing on work, on the kids, on therapy, on rebuilding. Marcus texted me last month asking if we could talk, not about the kids, just to talk. I didn't respond. We have nothing to talk about. That part of my life is over. I saw on social media that Bethany posted a photo of her and Marcus on vacation somewhere tropical. They looked happy, tanned and smiling. It stung but not as much as I thought it would. Mostly I just felt nothing. The house is quiet now when the kids are with Marcus. I've learned to appreciate the silence. I read. I watch TV shows Marcus hated. I take long baths. I do things just for me. I'm 34, divorced, a single mom, co-parenting with a man I used to love and now barely recognize. This isn't the life I planned, but it's the life I have. I don't regret waiting those 6 months to file. I don't regret gathering evidence and being strategic. Marcus would have destroyed me financially and dragged out custody if I'd confronted him immediately. Instead, I controlled the narrative and came out ahead. He lost the house, most of the money, primary custody of his kids. His reputation took a hit when people found out why we divorced. Bethany can have him. She got a cheater who abandoned his family. Good luck to her. I don't know what my future looks like. I'm not making big plans. Maybe someday I'll meet someone who actually values me, who doesn't lie and cheat. Maybe not. Either way I'll be okay. The kids are resilient. They're adapting. They still have 2 parents who love them even if those parents can't be in the same room anymore. I'm stronger than I was 6 months ago. Harder maybe, less trusting definitely, but stronger. Marcus made his choice and it cost him everything that actually mattered. I'm moving forward. That's all I can do.